Now we are going to discuss Bhagavad-Gita chapter 10 verses 4 and 5. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So I will be reading the verse now, then we will read the synonymous translation and purport. बुद्धिर्ज्ञानम सम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं च भयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिः तपोदानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः. Buddhi, intelligence, jnanam, knowledge, asammoha, freedom from doubt, kshama, forgiveness, satyam, truthfulness, damaha, control of the senses, shamaha, control of the mind, sukham, happiness, dukkham, distress, bhavaha, birth, abhavaha, death, bhayam, fear, cha, also, abhayam, fearlessness, eva, also, certainly, and ahimsa, non-violence, samata, equilibrium, tushtihi, satisfaction, tapaha, penance, danam, charity, yashaha, fame, ayashaha, infamy, bhavanti, come about, bhavaha, natures, bhutanam, of living entities, matta, from me, eva, certainly, pritagvidaha, variously arranged. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living entities are created by me alone. Purport. The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna and they are described here. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective, and knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter and is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between matter and spirit. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Asammoha, freedom from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely he becomes free from bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and caution. Kshama, tolerance and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others. Satyam, truthfulness, means that facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to others. But that is not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief and if people are warned that he is a thief, that is truth. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth. Control of the senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal sense enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement. Therefore, the senses should be restrained. One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. That is a misuse of the thinking power. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons and spiritual masters, and those whose thinking is highly developed. Sukham, pleasure or happiness, should be always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and similarly that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected. Bhava, birth, should be understood to refer to the body. As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of the Bhagavad-Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activities he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know what their future holds. They have no knowledge of what the next life holds. So they are therefore in constant anxiety. If we want to get free from anxiety, then the best course is to understand Krishna and be situated from all fear. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, it is stated, Bhayam dvitiya biniveshita syat. Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. But those who are free from the illusory energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are spiritual parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who are therefore engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Godhead, have nothing to fear. Their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not in Krishna consciousness. Abhayam, fearlessness, is only possible for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Material activities that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good results. Further, which do not further than that end commit to, which furthers this future. Samatha, equanimity, refers to freedom from attachment and aversion. To be very much attached or to be very much detached is not the best. This material world should be accepted without attachment or aversion. That which is favorable for prosecuting Krishna consciousness should be accepted. That which is unfavorable should be rejected. That is called samatha, equanimity. A person in Krishna consciousness has nothing to reject and nothing to accept save in terms of its usefulness in the prosecution of Krishna consciousness. Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. One should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance. There are many rules and regulations in the Vedas which apply here, like rising in the morning and taking a bath. Sometimes it is very troublesome to rise early in the morning, but whatever voluntary trouble one may suffer in this way is called penance. Similarly, there are prescriptions for fasting on certain days of the month. One may not be inclined to practice such fasting, but because of his determination to make advancement in the science of Krishna consciousness, he should accept such bodily troubles when they are recommended. However, one should not fast unnecessarily or against Vedic injunctions. Ignorance or passion does not lead to spiritual advancement. Everything done in the mode of goodness does advance one. As far as charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earnings. It is that which is conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause but the best cause. Because Krishna is good, his cause is also good. Thus, charity should be given to a person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. According to the Vedic literature, it is enjoined that the charity should be given to the Brahmanas. This practice is still followed, although not very nicely in terms of the Vedic injunction, but still the injunction is that charity should be given to Brahmanas. Why? Because they are engaged in higher cultivation of spiritual knowledge. A Brahmana is supposed to devote his whole life to understanding Brahman. Brahma janeti iti Brahmana. One who knows Brahman is called Brahmana. Thus, charity is offered to the Brahmanas because they are always engaged in higher spiritual service and have no time to earn their livelihood. In the Vedic literature, charity is also to be awarded to one in the door to door, not for money but for missionary purposes. The system is that they go from door to door to awaken the householders from the slumber of ignorance. Have forgotten their actual purpose in life, awakening their Krishna consciousness. It is the business of the sannyasis to go as beggars to the householders and encourage them to be Krishna conscious. As it is said in the Vedas, one should awake and achieve what is due him in this form of human form of life. This knowledge and method is distributed by the sannyasis. Hence, charity is to be given to the renouncer of life, to the Brahmanas, and similar good causes, not to any who said that a man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. That is real fame. If one has become a great man in Krishna consciousness and it is known, then he is truly famous. One who does not have such fame is infamous. All these qualities are manifest throughout the universe in human society and in the society of the demigods. There are many forms of humanity on other planets and these qualities are there. Now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops them from himself from within. One who engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord develops all the good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. Of whatever we find good or bad, the origin is Krishna. Nothing can manifest itself in this material world which is not in Krishna. It is that everything flows from Krishna. Yeah, so we'll move into our discussion now. The structure of the Bhagavad Gita, it is like a sandwich where there are two breads, one at the top and one at the bottom, and there is a middle filling in between of vegetables, etc. So the top bread, it can be considered as Jnana Yoga. The bread at the bottom can be considered as Karma Yoga, and the filling in between can be considered as Bhakti Yoga. So the two breads are only the outer part of the sandwich, but what is the essence of the sandwich is the middle filling of vegetables within. So those vegetables are the one which provide the nutrients. They are that is the essence of the sandwich. So similarly, in Gita, the top bread is Jnana Yoga, the bottom bread is Karma Yoga, and the middle is in Bhakti Yoga. That is from chapters 1 to 6 it's Karma Yoga, from chapters 7 to 12 it's Bhakti Yoga, and from chapters 13 to 18 it's Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga, and then Jnana Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is the essence, and out of the essence of Bhakti Yoga, chapters from 7 to 12, chapters 9 and 10 are the essence of the Bhakti Yoga. And so this is the chapter. The title of the 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge, and that of the 10th chapter is the opulence of the absolute. So this is the main essence, which is the part of the essence of the Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga, or chapters 7 to 12. And this chapter 10 is considered to be the essence along with chapter 9, because this chapter 10 has been given by to Krishna by Krishna to us to go back to Godhead, because in this chapter all the opulences of the Supreme Lord is mentioned. Out of all the Vedas I am Samaveda, out of all the horses I am Uchchaishrava, among demons I am Prahlada, etc. All these opulences are being mentioned. So whenever we think of the Vedas, we can remember ki, oh, Krishna represents the Samaveda. Whenever we think of a horse, we can remember Uchchaishrava every second, and then we can go back to Godhead very easily. Becoming the only difficult part is remembering the Lord. Once we start remembering the Lord, then we can go easily back to Godhead. So this is the question after Arjuna speaks Ame Vaishyasi Yuktva Atmanam Matparayanaha. Here he says that engage your mind in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, you will surely come to me. So now Arjuna is thinking that in the material world, people are absorbed in so many other activities. How can we think of the Supreme Lord? So then Krishna gave this 10th chapter. I mean, Arjuna did not speak it out, but Krishna knows that because he is Paramatma. So he can understand that Arjuna is thinking about this, and thus he spoke this entire 10th chapter to tell him that these are my opulences, and you can using these opulences, you can think about me very easily. So answer is entire chapter 10, as I mentioned. So here the focus of learning in this sloka is that all the qualities are created by Krishna, whether good qualities or bad qualities, whatever, everything is created by Krishna, and they are described here. Now we are entering into the qualities. That is going to be the main part of this discussion. So power to analyze things in their proper perspective. So if I am able to favorable for me, what is unfavorable for me, then I have this quality of buddhi or intelligence. Next is jnanam. Jnanam actually knowledge. Jnanam means knowledge, and knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter, knowing things as they are, that spirit is this and matter is this. This is the distinction between matter and spirit, and thus I should focus on the spirit because matter is temporary. This is this is the main part of jnanam. And modern education nowadays, they are teaching only about matter. Everything they are teaching about matter only. There is no, this academic knowledge is not complete. It is not complete unless and until you know about spirit soul. Who is the spirit soul? Why I need to revive my connection with the Almighty Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called jnanam. Now asammoha is freedom from doubt and delusion. This can be achieved when one acts without doubt based on the scriptures. So one is not hesitant and he understands kshama, tolerance and forgiveness. Excuse the minor offenses of others is called kshama or tolerance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the tree as the shiksha guru. Comes to take shade from you, don't complain. Whether somebody gives you water, somebody comes to cut the wood from you, selflessly give them the shade. So tolerance. This tree is the shiksha guru of tolerance. Damaha, control of the senses. That is the next thing. So these senses should not be used for personal sense gratification. And if you want to meet the proper needs of your senses, then there is no prohibition. But unnecessary extra sense enjoyment will definitely be detrimental to our spirituality. Next quality is satyam or truthfulness. Satyam or speaking things as they are. It means that whether the truth is palatable or it is not palatable, you just have to speak it out. In the social conventions, it says that only if the truth is palatable, you speak it. Otherwise, don't speak it. So, but this conception is not right. We always have to speak the truth. And that truth, whether it is palatable or unpalatable, when it is spoken to us, we should learn how to accept it and how to learn from it. So this is satyam or truthfulness. Facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. This is the definition of truth. So next quality is shamaha, control of the mind. That we should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. One should just not spend the time thinking how can I earn more money, how can I multiply more money, one should just only think on how can I progress in Krishna consciousness, how can I make others progress in Krishna consciousness. This is about shama or control of the mind. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings and should be presented authoritatively. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons and spiritual masters, and those whose thinking is highly developed. This is shamaha. Now next is sukham dukkham, happiness and distress. It isn't material happiness or sadness. And now here Sukham should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulasya varjanam. What is favorable for Krishna consciousness, I will accept that. What is unfavorable, I will reject that. So yes, this is the quality, this is Sukham and Dukkham. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, anything unfavorable should be rejected. And Bhava Abhavaha, birth and death. This quality, it refers only to the body, and there is no, for the soul has no birth and death. So Natvevaham jatunasam natvam nime janadipaha nachayvana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatav param. In the Gita, the second chapter, 12th sloka, the Supreme Lord proves this right in the starting by saying that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So here Krishna refers to the soul, that soul never dies, and birth and death apply only to one's embodiment in the material world. So next, this is the next quality is bhayam abhayam, fear and fearlessness. So fear, the biggest fear is fear of death, and also another biggest fear is falling down into lower species. So fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear, because by his activities he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back home, back to Godhead. So for this particular thing, we should know our constitutional position. So then only we can cultivate the quality of abhayam or fearlessness. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, it is stated that Bhayam Dvitiya Viniveshitasyat. Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. Those who are free from the illusory energy, who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who are therefore engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, have nothing to fear. Their future is very bright. So next quality is ahimsa or non-violence, and devotee doesn't hurt any person. And also Prabhupada gives another definition of ahimsa and himsa also. Himsa is anything that stops the conditioned soul to go back to Godhead is called himsa. So ahimsa should be means that one should not do anything that will put others into misery or confusion. People should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of human body can be achieved. The human body is meant for spiritual realization, so any movement or any commissions which do not further that end commit violence on the human body. That which furthers the future spiritual happiness of the people in general is called non-violence. Next quality is samata or equanimity. It refers to freedom from attachment and aversion. So if I get a good result, if I get a bad result, I should be equal to both. That which is favorable for prosecuting Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and that which is unfavorable should be rejected. That is called samata or equanimity. Now, tushtihi, satisfaction. The key to happiness is basically a satisfied heart. For example, if I give you a paper and I ask you to write all your wishes, you will finish that side of the paper, you will turn the paper, finish even that side also, then I will give you another paper, you will finish both the sides of that paper also. Similarly, if I give you a paper as big as the sky and I give you ink as much as the ocean, still the desires will not get satisfied. So the key to happiness is a satisfied heart. So here also Prabhupada writes that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. That one should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord, that is called satisfaction. Next quality is tapaha, austerity or penance. Prabhupada mentions many ways that austerity and penance is voluntary abstinence from particular things. For example, there are rules and regulations. One should fast on recommended days and do not do unnecessary austerities that are useless. Nowadays, people walk on the burning coal, and so these sort of activities that Prabhupada declares them as useless. So these austerities will not yield any result. Only what is prescribed by the Vedic scriptures, that should be followed as austerity. Now dhanam or charity. Dhanam is where one should give 50% of his earnings to some good cause, and that good cause is what is conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. So one should donate, give money in charity to Brahmanas, because they are engaged in the higher study of the Vedic scriptures, so that they can guide the Kshatriyas who can rule over us, and ultimately we can lead a very nice life in the kingdom, and the king can also go back to Godhead. Along with that, he can take even us also, we can also go back. So this happens when the Brahmanas are respected and given importance in the Varnashrama society. So Brahmanas should be given charity, and also sannyasis should be given charity, because sannyasis, they go around preaching to everybody. Sannyasi goes from a householder's house to a householder's house, and they have no other business except preaching Krishna consciousness. So they are fully absorbed in the pure devotional service of the Supreme Lord, and thus they don't have the time or the desire to make a living. So examples are Rupa Goswami, who at the time of coming into Krishna consciousness, he gave away 50% to he gave away his income that he had attained by being the chief minister of the Nawab to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Even Bali Maharaj also, he gave charity to Vaman Dev. Even Ranti Deva, he even though he fasted for many days, many people came and asked him for food. The demigods disguised them and came to test Ranti Deva, but Ranti Deva passed in that test by giving charity to everybody until the time he was left only with water, and came to sit on the lap, and he got angry at Suniti also. Suniti, yeah, his stepmother. So at that time he was not as famous, but when he became a devotee of the Supreme Lord and Vishnu appeared himself and gave him darshan, then he became famous finally. So all these qualities Prabhupada mentions that they are manifest in human society and in the society of the demigods also. So Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops themselves from within only. And one who engages in the devotional service of the Lord develops all these good qualities. So again, as we mentioned in the starting, of whatever we find good or bad, the origin is the Supreme Lord, and nothing can manifest itself in this material world which is not in Krishna. That is, by practicing devotional service, we can develop all these qualities and we can become a great devotee. We can become great devotee and go back to Godhead. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Shila Prabhupada ki jai.